Okay, so I've got fundamentalist religious family members. In fact, it's half my family. They're in the Salvation Army. No names being named here, so there's no meanies being done here. But I'm going to tell you some things you probably don't know about the Salvation Army. And I'll tell you for nothing, growing up around this was a head trip, and it cured me of ever having any kind of belief in that kind of thing for life. And also, it taught me a lot about cult programming. I'm not saying the whole Salvation Army's all culty before they come and sue me, but these dudes I was around were. But so I'm going to talk about what it was like with massively blown up allergic shyness. Look, I don't know if you can see that. That is so bad. But I'm going to talk a little bit about what it's like to grow up as a young person around them, and make a series of these because I was not into it. I was never converted, so I was just exposed to it all the time as someone who didn't believe in it at all. Which and invited to all of the affairs and well, I don't mean literal affairs, but I mean the Citadel things, all that stuff. Right, so they were hell-bent on converting me. Hell-bent. Oh, yeah. I mean, I know the expression's ironic, but they absolutely were. I got dragged along to Sunday school. I got dragged along to services. I got dragged along to jumble sales. I got dragged along to cake things. I got dragged along to everything. And I felt like dragging them at the end of every one, because the language of the people around me was quite horrendous regarding many things. They seemed to think they were being holy and pious, saying some quite dreadful stuff. A lot of them were quite racist. That's not a reflection on the organisation as a whole. I'm sure it's just every single one of them I met was like that. I'm bisexual. They're very, very, very anti-LGBTQ. I was really, really afraid to mention my sexuality around them, because they were very, very hostile. When I did come out, my family members who are in the church, or Citadel, started to basically paste their sort of bad behaviour onto me. Like things that they would never, no one would think they would do because they're all holy and pious, like substances, whatever. If they got caught, they'd blame it on me. So there you go, that's how they stay looking holy, isn't it? And they talk a lot in public about not drinking alcohol. Every single one of them I knew drank alcohol. Quite a large number of them got heavily intoxicated fairly frequently, away from the view of other Citadel members. This is not just my family. I know other people in the same Citadel, but they're all the same. Members of the Citadel lectured me at length about how many children would I want, when was I going to have a baby, blah, 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 blah. They did that from when I was about 13, which is interesting. Obviously, not being in their thing, I was all right here, but they encourage their young to marry extraordinarily quickly. When they get into relationships, it's a normal thing to marry quickly. And rates of divorce are also much, much higher than they ordinarily are in other populations that are religious, I feel probably because of that. Oh, and I had a million, billion cousins, all of whom were a bit odd and remained odd when they grew up. And, very, 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 yeah, anyway, I'll make a few more of these.